Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Friday afternoon, March 21st. We're looking at Window Traders market profile of the ESNQ. So we will recap all of these charts from top to bottom. Okay. For a wacky week, and it was a wacky week, not much happened. We end up on the week, couple of bucks in ES and NQ. We had some dramatic moves to the upside, taken back. Here's the big picture, folks. This is this week's range. This is our balance. It goes for NQ also. Okay, we're in a $5 balance. Here's what's amazing. We tested, right? So here's Monday through Friday. We stretched the balance high on Wednesday in ES. Couldn't get it, Thursday, couldn't take it out to go up. Today we got within a few ticks or points of the balance low. Didn't even get the overnight low. Even though we took out A's low, we couldn't get the overnight low and just missed the rollover gap too. So you talk about defending first balance high and now balance low. Included in that are the moves we had this week. Think about it. Look at Monday's dramatic push up. Look at Tuesday's push down. Look at Wednesday's spike up. Look at Thursday's push up. Look at Friday with a gap lower. And so we had the market all over the map and nothing really changed. And NQ is the same thing. NQ, Monday's high is their balance high. They never even got it. Look how close they got on the 19th and yesterday on the 20th. And then today they come down and look how close they got. These are two weekly lows now, my friends. Look how close these two weekly lows are. If anybody ever tells you balance rules aren't important, or if you don't understand balance rules, you better start learning them. I've gone over them in here numerous times. Okay, I couldn't stress it to my room enough. But both at the balance high and balance low. I told them today, even with a gap lower, you're right at a balance low. If you want to buy that and see if it front runs both the overnight low and the balance low, you know you're out. Well, you could have done, and people in my room did it. They did it in A period, and you could have done it in B. Now, B, I would have been less likely to do it because we took out A's low and you figured now they're going to go get it. But they still didn't. They still didn't. So, balance rules, spectacular. They are 1,000 times more important than gap rules. Please, please believe that. Okay? Righty goes out, and we had inside days down that paid initially, but then got taken back. We did not get an overnight high or low in ES today. That is the fifth time we didn't get it. We got NQ's overnight high in the last minutes of the day. Righty got the overnight low early in the day. None of us held trend. We tried to go trend up. None of us held it. ES fell 3 times. NQ had 2 or 3 sets. Righty had 2 sets. Couldn't hold it. However, ES and NQ go out with a very nice price probe. So this is going to be an important level. I'm going to start using hump levels, right, for camelback trading. Look at this level here. Look how important this level here is in ES. Here is Fed Day spike. The next day, B period, rip up when we went trend. Look at this. It's all around the same area. Look at last night's overnight high, right at that area. Look at today's high, right at that area. So I know they're not exact prices, but this hump level right now, for all intents and purposes, again, you can use from the Fed Day one because we've gotten over it. Yes, we got over it yesterday. We had an afternoon rally high on the 20th. That's still there. But we got back below that, and then again, we had the overnight high and today's high. So you know what I would use? If you want a specific number as our hump level in ES, 57.31. Right? The Fed spike is from 22, 23 and a quarter, I think. Something like that. So, but basically 57.31, right? That's what they have to get over. If they get over that, maybe they get to above that balance high. Okay, now NQ was also very visual, but they took that out late. So here's the Fed day spike. And then yesterday you had this spike in B when we ripped up trend. Same level. Look at today's overnight high. Same level. And now today, in the last minute of the day, guess what? They got above it and closed above it. Is that an all clear? Of course not. So again, I would use H's high from yesterday, which is 942, as your hump level. We did get above it, we closed above it, but you always hear me say, one day is not a market. So what am I saying? If we can't hold 942 in NQ, and if we don't get above 31 in ES, all this that we kept coming up to is probably going to get taken back again. So those are the levels I firmly believe for Monday are going to be very important for the bulls to overtake and for the bears to defend. So let's see. Had a good day today. So A period in NQ, because of the gap, I didn't get caught getting that overnight low. I stayed away from that. I almost jumped in, but didn't. But had a lot of nice ebb and flow trades because we had gap, value, indices in favor of the bears at the time. So between shorting against the 144 simple moving average at ebb and flow, I did well. Then I got the A's high when B popped it. That was nice. Then I got the IB high when C popped it. So got two of my staple plays that I like. Then I had 3 losses in a row. I took a long when they filled single prints in D, but it kept coming in. I said, I'm out. So I lost on that, and I lost on 2 shorts in F period. I took one at value high at the time, and I took another one when we initially popped D's high, saying, I don't think they failed to hold trend early. I don't think they'll hold it this time. Well, they did hold it. So they weren't big losses. In fact, they added up. They were a total of 50 points. So it was $1,000 I was down. Okay? Now, to keep that in perspective, I traded my own money A, B, and C. We were too far away from either of the overnights. So I shut it down. I had a good A, B, and C. And I went to the prop accounts that I trade. So I was down about $1,000 in one of the prop accounts in D and F. But I got it all back in G and more when I did a tremendous amount in G and H of ebb and flow longs because we were one-time framing up, because we had single prints, because I thought at that time we might get the overnight high. I wasn't buying the highs, but every little pullback, ebb and flow, and I ended up making, I think, 63 points on that. So I took back to 50, I was down, and I was up 13. And then I took one more trade in M to get the day's high. I did not get the overnight high. So again, it was a good day. It was a good week. I think we saw the market well, especially there's a lot of mixed MGI all over the map, how these markets rip. Okay, I'm not going to go over destinations because I'm in bigger increments. But before we get to the charts, please look at this. Okay? There's not a lot out next week. FPC next Friday. So until you take out this balance high or balance low, you're going to have tremendous chop inside of here. I still think those levels I gave you are extremely important. 57.31 in ES and 9.92 in NQ. Because we haven't been able to get over those levels, although we've tried, especially Wednesday and Thursday, spiking on Wednesday, trending on Thursday, overnight high last night, today's highs today. So they're still very important. For my money's worth, if they get acceptance above those levels, you should go test and possibly come out of balance to the upside. And you have to monitor that for continuation or lack of. If they can't get above those levels, then we should go test those balance lows once again. Okay? Hope that, look, I try to make things as clear and visual as possible. I'm telling you, we had some, because the market was really quiet in the afternoon, we had a couple of, just 2 hours of basically questions and answers about the profile and the market. Really don't understand why I don't have more people that want to educate themselves on this. It kind of baffles me. Okay, here's your charts. Let's go over them. So on the IWM, the monthly is down, right? It's down, plain and simple. So we still have 6 more trading days to go, including the end of the quarter, a week from Monday. So the monthly is down still in IWM. The weekly is balance. It's a 2-week balance. So things could change drastically if they come out of that balance to the upside. But we don't know yet, right? We don't know if we're going to come out of it. So right now, the monthly is down, the weekly is balanced, and the daily is also balanced. It's a 5-day balance. Today's low is the low of it. Wednesday's high is the high of it. It's going to be a recurring theme for these three indices. Triple Qs, the monthly, again, is down. Right? The weekly is a 2-week balance. And the daily is a 5-day balance. Now, some people might encompass this whole thing, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm using Tuesday's low right now as a balance. Will I ignore that Friday low or whatever day that was? What day was that? That was the 13th. That was the Thursday's low. Will I ignore that? Of course not. But if we take out Tuesday's low, to me, we're coming out of balance. And then we'll see what happens at that Thursday low. Now, the S&P. And again, you know I'm going to beat something else to death here. Okay? Repeating things makes a better trader in your own mind. The more you repeat, the more it absorbs, the better you get at looking and seeing these nuances that we continually talk about on both charts and the profile. The monthly is balance. Okay? I'm sorry. The monthly is down. The monthly is down. The weekly is balanced. 2 weeks. Okay? Talk about an indecisive week. Look how we closed. And the daily, that's the 1-minute chart. I don't want that. The daily is a 5-day balance. Today's the low of it. Wednesday's the high of it. Now, you know what we're going to talk about also. Now, volume's 82 million, and that's because of expiration. Right now, it's the 5th heaviest of the year. That's really not saying much, but it is. So let's talk about something real quick. I know this video's long. It's 10 days below the 200. The 20-day moving average is basically right on it. Okay? I don't care about that. I care more about this balance. Why? Because if we come out of this balance to the upside, I want to see if we get acceptance above the 200. Acceptance will not mean one day. Acceptance will mean getting the weekly up, getting the daily up, and trying to stay above it and start one time framing up above it. That would be acceptance. If we do that, some money on the sidelines can come in and fuel this market higher. Okay? Higher by meaning, I have no idea. We can go to all-time highs. Why not? I don't think the all-time highs are in. There's no excess at the all-time highs. On the flip side, if we come out of this bounce to the downside and get below our yearly low from from March 13th, you can possibly see sellers coming in in the form of long-term money. They might say, you know what? We can't get above this. I have some dead money. I have some good profits, and I made a mistake last night, I think, or they have good profits in all of 23 and 9 months of 2024. I said 2022, I think, yesterday. There's good money in there. If they think this market has more of a pullback potential, why not protect some of it? Now, please remember, nobody will be the first one to make the move. Nobody. Nobody's going to say, I want to be smarter than the other. They just want to be at the benchmark and be average and do what every other long-term money manager's doing. Why am I saying that? Because if they come in on the sell side, they're all going to come in at the same time. You're not going to have one sell it. It'll be all of them. And same thing on the upside, though, also. So that's why I'm trying to, I think, show the importance of what's happening here. Anyway, I hope you had a great day and a great week trading. Rest up. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. I urge you to check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll speak prior to the opening on Monday.